Hello and welcome to my new YouTube channel. I'm Steve Martins and the name of my channel is A Better Life. Why did I choose that title? Well, it took me a number of years to realize that that is exactly what I'm in search of. And it's also exactly what most people I've ever met are in search of. We won't always end up at the same place, but the process is really kind of similar for each and every one of us. This all started one day when I realized that there's a lot in this life I'm not exempt from. For example, I'm not exempt from inconvenience. I'm not exempt from planning. I'm not exempt from feeling bad or having feelings of anger. I'm not exempt from having to manage my moods. I'm not exempt from providing for my own basic needs. You get the idea. We're all responsible for where we are and where we're going. And that's the reason I have chosen the title A Better Life, because I believe that that's what I can have. I also believe that that's what you can have. So I hope that my talks, at least that's what they're going to be for now, maybe they'll morph into something a little later, but I want these talks to be just about the journey of discovering a better life, of trying new ideas, of putting on a new identity. Some people call it hopping the timeline or something of that nature. My point being that we have the opportunity to really change ourselves, and only when we own all of that responsibility and realize that we are not exempt from the struggle can we begin to move our life in the direction that it has the potential to go. Day before yesterday, I got a thought about being a coach for other people who want to be on the journey. And of course, I have had years of struggling with self-acceptance, self-worthiness, and just even having a right to exist. I've done so many things wrong in my life, and I have discovered that I can recover, but the recovery is kind of a lifelong process. I have to remind myself pretty often where I came from to where I am now, and where I intend to be in the future. So in terms of being a coach, one of the things that it goes through my mind when I think about that, well, Steve, be less of a fool before you want to be a coach. And can I say that that's just the ego speaking? Like the ego telling me that I'm not worthy, that I should forget about getting ahead, I should forget about making a living, doing something that I absolutely enjoy, making a living from being with people, in the company of people, encouraging them and helping them become better people themselves while I'm on the journey of becoming a better person myself. That's really where I want to be. That's where I get the most happiness. I remember a few nights ago, I live on the 37th floor of a high-rise in Chicago, and I got in the elevator. There was one guy in there, and I spoke. I said, hello, good afternoon, whatever it was. And then we stopped a few floors down, and this gaggle of women came in. They were headed to the deck, to where the swimming pool is. And I made a comment to one of them, and it was a positive comment, just kind of good morning, good afternoon, what it was. And then one of them turned around and asked me a question, and it kind of caught me off guard. She said, name one positive thing that's happened for you today. And I had to think, before I realized that, well, I'm having this conversation. This is a positive thing. You're a stranger to me, I'm a stranger to you, and yet we've had the ability to exchange positive words with each other. Isn't that a great example? Well, anyway, I want to be mindful of the fact that life is lived on a vibrational level, and we have the opportunity to kind of vibe with other people. That conversation in the elevator made me feel so good. I walked out the door of the building and I was going for a walk. It was my normal process of going for about 3.5 miles. I encountered somebody at the next corner, and we were standing there waiting for the light, the walk sign to come on. Traffic was not coming from either direction, so I turned to the guy and said, "I'll go if you will," and then I headed out. And then, of course, I realized that was not the greatest thing to do, and I had to kind of block him from getting out into the street before I'd get us both killed. But it was really, the experience itself was not that bad, but I just laughed at myself. And then, so I crossed the street and walked another block or so, and there was this young and very good-looking couple engrossed in what I call the goodbye kiss that happens on many corners of the city. And I remember back when I had a girlfriend and we would go for walks and we would stop at every corner and give each other a kiss. Well, I was walking by them and they were really kind of wrapped up in each other. And I just said to them, "Hey, you guys are lovely." And she broke the kiss long enough to say, "Thank you." And then I went on for more blocks and standing at another light, and another young lady was next to me and she smelled terrific. I don't know what perfume it was, but I was going to say something encouraging to her about that. I thought, well, maybe she'll think I'm a creep, so I'll just hold my tongue. But we ended up at the next light, and we ended up kind of walking together for another block or two, and I just said to her, "Excuse me, can I say something?" And she said, "Sure." I said, "You smell terrific." And I couldn't believe the effusive response was, "Thank you." You know, people love it when you say an encouraging and positive word. And there's something about just doing it spontaneously, seeing a person and finding something attractive or positive in their presence, a gift they bring to the world, as it were, and mentioning it to them. So another couple of blocks, I'm walking along, and I get behind this gaggle of young women. There's a lot of young women walking in the neighborhood that I live in around 6 o'clock on Friday afternoon. And one of them had a sash on, but I was behind her, so I couldn't read the sash. But I thought, well, it probably says bride or something like that. So I came up behind them and I was able to get their attention in a non-creepy way. And I said, I'm guessing that you're the bride in the group. And she kind of turned to me and says, no, it's my birthday. And she showed me the sash, which told me it was her birthday. And we chatted for a few seconds, and I said, well, I just wanted you to know that you're beautiful anyway. And she said, what? Thank you. It was effusive. Then I came upon a couple, and they had a dog that had it was a red hair poodle, or what do they call that? Apricot, or I'm not sure what the color is. But it matched the color of his beard. So I said to him, wow, you had the good idea of getting a dog that matched the color of your beard. And guess what he said? Thank you. I owe it to my wife, who was standing right next to him. So what I'm trying to get at is that there are a lot of opportunities to be positive. And if you teach yourself every moment to only let those positive words come out of your mouth instead of the grumpy, grouse-like words, which I have a tendency to kind of be a grump, and I'm not proud of that, and I've tried to talk myself out of it many times, but you know, I guess it's my default mode, and when I wake up in the morning, I go in the default mode of being grumpy and negative, and I can quickly bring myself out of it. I know I have to, and I do. I do that, and I've learned this so much that I have the ability to change myself by just changing the words that come out of my mouth. And when I do that, something good usually happens. Well, I've talked long enough. Thank you for coming and being here on my inaugural YouTube video of my channel called A Better Life. And I'm going to talk here about how my life is becoming better, and maybe you'll find a way to make yours better too. And I hope that you'll leave that in the comments. Share something with me. Tell me about yourself if you want to. And also a like and subscribe would be appreciated.